Hey guys, what's going on? This is Josh with Honey Badger F1. This weekend, my favorite sport in the whole world, Formula One, is in Montreal for the 2019 Canadian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, I can't be in the Paddock Club drinking champagne, so I guess I'll have to do the next best thing, which is to drive on the Grand Prix circuit in both F1 2018 and iRacing. So let's see how these two simulations compare. Alright guys, so kicking things off on F1 2018 by Codemasters on the Canadian Grand Prix circuit. So for those of you who have not played this game, this is the officially licensed F1 video game. It's available on all platforms, PC, Xbox, PS4, and because it's really the only officially licensed F1 game, it's kind of the only show in town in terms of having all of the authentic teams and drivers. So it looks very good. I think that the graphics in this game are excellent. It does suffer from some stuttering issues. I do have the kind of the latest hardware on my PC, so I'm a little surprised to see it stutter every now and then. I don't see the same issue in iRacing. The new F1 2019 game is actually dropping this June, so next month, and I'm very excited to see how this one looks. Codemasters promises a lot of graphical improvements, so I think this game should look a lot better. But in terms of F1 2018, I think it looks quite good. The sound is awesome. Kind of driving experts have criticized the physics in this game and say it's a little too arcadey, but it's difficult for me to comment on that. I'm not a real Formula driver, so it's hard for me to tell you exactly what's wrong with the physics, but I can tell you that when I'm driving it on my direct drive wheel, it feels very realistic, so I think the gameplay is quite good. So personally, I really enjoy playing this game. I play in a league with a bunch of other guys and really enjoy that. So I've had a lot of fun with this game. The Canadian circuit is definitely deceiving. It seems like it's going to be easy at first with these long straights, but then you get to these very hard braking zones, and it is a difficult track. Some F1 history. The circuit is actually Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and Gilles Villeneuve was a famous Canadian F1 driver. Unfortunately, he died at a very young age, at the age of 32. So rest in peace. But he was a beloved driver, really charismatic guy. I think he won 6 F1 races. I'm sure he would have gone on to be an F1 world champion. Interestingly, his son actually went on to become an F1 world champion. But that's kind of the origins behind the name of the circuit. So overall, I think the lighting effects in this game look very good. I think driving around it, personally, I think it looks good. It looks good. It looks authentic. I am excited to see the improvements in F1 2019, so we'll have to see what that looks like. All right, so now we are on the Canadian Grand Prix circuit in iRacing. I actually purchased this track today, so I am by no means an expert. And even though this looks like a Formula One car, for the eagle eyes out there, you'll notice that it's not. This is a Dallara Formula 3 car. iRacing actually has a Formula One car. It's actually one of the McLaren Hondas, so an older F1 car. The iRacing does not have the license for the new cars. I'm hoping that they get that license at some point, but for now, iRacing does not have it. You can see I lack familiarity with the track, so I'll be making errors here and there. I thought I'd switch up the livery, so I'm racing in the Ferrari livery for those Ferrari fans out there. I wanted to give some love to a couple teams. The cool thing about iRacing is that you can actually get the kind of the liveries for different teams through an app called Trading Paints. And if you all need the link for that, I can obviously put that in the bio. But Trading Paints is great because you could race in the Mercedes livery, Ferrari, or any of the other teams. So, what do I think about the graphics in iRacing? I think that the graphics and sound in iRacing are actually quite good. I do think that the textures on some of the trees look a little flat and less three-dimensional than what I see in F1 2018. But, overall, I do think the graphics look good. I think if I, kind of gun to my head, which one do I think looks better? I'd probably say F1 2018, but I will give the nod to iRacing in the sense of the fact that it's much more stable. So it runs a lot smoother. It's a smoother frame rate. So, when you're playing, there's less distractions. And I can tell you that when I do get a stuttering issue in F1 2018, it drives me crazy. And sometimes it actually can lead to a crash. Overall, I think, I do think the graphics in iRacing are quite good. I understand this is not an apples to apples comparison because I'm not driving an F1 car. This is an F3 car. In terms of physics, actually, it does feel very realistic. I can't tell you that I think there's a clear winner there. You could probably hear a little bit of wheel lockup every now and then as I learn the track in real time. But I do think the physics in both games, is quite good. I don't have a clear winner there. iRacing definitely overall, is considered to be the most realistic simulator. So again, I think physics overall, iRacing tends to get the nod. But yeah, I think in terms of formula cars, I think they're pretty similar, overall. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I think ultimately that the circuit Gilles Villeneuve looks great on both platforms, iRacing and F1 2018. It's fun to put the car on both tracks. Ultimately, I think the graphics may be slightly better in F1 2018, and I've heard that F1 2019 is going to look even better. But don't count out iRacing because I think that the graphical stability overall and smoothness is a little bit better. So if you have a PC, I definitely think this track is worth picking up. Ultimately, I think both games are extremely fun. They're definitely going to give you an appreciation for what the real drivers are doing because this track is deceptive. It looks really easy with the long straights, but then when you get to those hard braking zones, it's a real pain in the butt. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to the real F1 race. And if you have any questions, either about F1 2018 or iRacing, definitely feel free to hit me up in the comments section or find me on Twitch at HoneyBadgerF1. Happy racing.